What's up? Hey, people of the internet. I'm back. It's been about, I don't know, a week or so since I've streamed, but I'm back and I'm here to work on the drum machine project. If you don't know me, I'm James. I'm a product designer and I'm into music, all things music related. So music instruments, music devices, all those kinds of things. And I'm into design. So that's what we're doing here. If I show you my screen here, I'm working on the hardware design of a drum machine slash looper slash live drum creation device. And yeah, in the last video, I was trying to figure out the placement of some buttons and things. I might do a little bit more of that today, but also I'm going to look at putting the brains of the device in today, I think. So actually what kind of processor we're going to use inside the device and where it's going to fit. I want to say hi to Elk, my loyalist of fans. Thank you and welcome back. Thank you for joining the stream again. How was your vacation, Broham? It was great, yeah. My parents came to Berlin for a while. I think I streamed after that, and then I went and met them in Munich, and we drove around the south of Germany for about 6 days, which was awesome. Got to drive around on the right side of the road, which, you know, I've done a few times before, but not so much, so that was fun. And got to drive on the Autobahn, which was an experience as well. Didn't go too crazy, but I did like, I don't know, 160 kilometers an hour. I'm not sure what that is in miles per hour. Let me look it up. 160, so it's like 100 miles per hour. So that was pretty fun. But yeah, didn't go too crazy because, you know, rental car, full family in the car. But yeah, there was a sticker in the corner of the window that said max 240 kilometers per hour, and the car was like a 1.5 liter engine, so I don't think it would be even capable of that. So most of the time I was doing like 130 or 140. But saw lots of cool stuff in Germany. Went to a really cool castle called the Neuschwanstein, which I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. That was really cool. Went to a technical museum in Sinsheim, which was awesome. They have like Concorde jets there and stuff. Saw lots of cool stuff. But anyway, I digress. I gotta get back to the design stuff. How was your week, Elk? What have you been up to? I haven't been checking so much online, so I don't know if you've been posting some stuff. In the meantime, I'm just gonna search Raspberry Pi 4 because I think from memory they have 3D models on their website. I'm gonna see if I can find them. Basically, the plan currently is to prototype this device using a Raspberry Pi 4. Could be cool in the future if we could use a Pi 4 compute module, which is like a very stripped back Raspberry Pi that doesn't have any of the I/O on it. It's just the processor, and then we can choose what I/O we want and where we want it. But these are basically impossible to buy now. I don't know if anyone's manufacturing them anymore, and they're all sold out at all of these suppliers. Like you click on any of them and it'll say, if I were to translate this, which I don't know how to do in Mozilla, but I think this says it's out of stock. Why can't I translate this? Maybe I can change this. Yeah, here we go. yeah, this product is currently not available. Can check here. I don't know. Don't know how to translate this one, but from what I've seen before, everything is always out of stock. And yes, I saw your message just sent Elk. Sorry, I let it go off the screen. Maybe I need to change that timer so they stay on the screen a bit longer. Not too bad, matey. Haven't been recording recently. Ah, damn, man. What's been happening? You still doing some sound design stuff? Let me just change my. How do I change the? How do I change my chat settings? I can't do that now. Whatever. Back to this. Yeah, working on a performance piece with my Stragers. I miss my old weird stuff. Nice, man. Yeah. You mean like the more noise kind of stuff rather than the what do you call it? Like synthwave sort of stuff. Yeah, to get back to what I was saying, compute module is pretty much impossible to find, so for now we're going to use Pi 4. Really, I've been working in a rapid beat generation with drums so I can demo your stuff. I mean, I don't know how long, it's going to be a while till you'll be able to demo this stuff. But that's cool. Excited to see it. Working on non-developing my own genre fusing synthwave with horror style sounds. Oh, that's cool. I think that's always a nice way to find like your own sound. It's like combining different things that you like. It's probably true about any creative thing, really. Like people say that we never really come up with completely unique ideas, but we rather accept input in our brains and we output sort of combinations of all of our influences. So yeah, I think that's a nice way to sort of develop your own style or your own sound, is like take the different things that you vibe with and merge them into like your thing. So that could be cool. Now where would I find 3D models of this stuff? Documentation, software, hardware. Let me just look it up. Raspberry Pi 3D model. I thought that they have them actually on their website. Yeah, here, let's check. I'm pretty sure I found CAD models on here before. What just happened? Grab CAD. Sorry, I missed that message. No, I didn't. No. I was gonna do that thing again where I read a message twice. I'm sure that I've downloaded CAD models directly from the Raspberry Pi website before. Maybe I'm imagining things. I'm fighting with I'm fighting with my words. I'm fighting with Bitwig 5 currently. I've never actually used Bitwig before, but I heard that some of the developers from Ableton started Bitwig and love Ableton. And I assume, I mean, I've heard great things about Bitwig, but never tried it. Okay, this CAD model looks pretty decent. All the components modeled individually. Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty good. I'm just gonna check my CAD files, my CAD library, because I'm pretty sure that somewhere I have I'm pretty sure somewhere I have a Compute Module 4 model. I want to figure out where I downloaded that from. I swap between Logic and Bitwig. Bitwig 5 is really adding some oomph to the DAW. Okay. Is version 5 a recent release? We can't see your screen. Yeah, I hid my screen. thanks for the heads up. No, I hid my screen because I'm just diving through folders and yeah, don't want to dox myself somehow. I'm always worried about, I don't know, accidentally showing like a photocopy of my passport or something random like that. Comes out in April. Oh, okay. Is it like are you testing a beta or something? Using beta 8 currently. Luckily my license includes the upgrade. Beta 8. Beta 8 of version 5 or? I don't know. I don't know what version they're up to. What am I looking at? Sums. Oops. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I downloaded this model directly from the Raspberry Pi website. What happens when I search Compute Module 4 3D model? Alright, I'll show my screen again. Step file simplification request. Okay, yeah, that makes sense because I downloaded this file called exactly CM4 and it was incredibly overly detailed. So I can understand the simplification request because it was like crazy heavy for me to open that model in SolidWorks because it was like had every single detail in it. Version 5 is the next release. I'm just testing the 8th beta. Yeah, okay, so the 8th beta of version 5, I'm guessing. That would make sense. What is it about the version 5 that that's adding the extra oomph? I'm interested to know. Tried to remove them by myself and post. Yeah, this is the kind of model you want. Very basic model that has the geometry needed that you don't want to get stuff in the way of. So where's the CM for? Where's the CM4 model come from? Did they take them down from the website? Data sheets. Compute module 4. I spelled that wrong. Okay, so we got buy now. Documents. Step file. Okay. So do they have the same thing here? No? Damn. Why do they have a CAD model for the compute module but not for the Pi 4? Wait. Compute module 4. Scroll down, there's got the specification and then documents. Raspberry Pi 4. Come on. No 3D model. Why? Okay then, maybe for now I just need to download this person's model. Okay, I'll do that. Why isn't my OBS working? There we go. I'm hiding my screen while I log into GrabCAD. So I don't accidentally show my password or something. Okay, let me check that there aren't any better models. Raspberry Pi 4. Well, this one has a SolidWorks model. What did I download here? Oh, these are SolidWorks models too. Okay, that's cool. and that was from Hassanine. Oh, I'm sorry for butchering the pronunciation. This person, shout out for modeling this. Wonder if it'd be better to get a simplified model like this. Maybe, I don't know. There are a lot of CAD models of the Pi 4. So Elk, what's new in Bitwig 5? Any new juicer features? Juicy features? That looks the same as that. Mateusz Zelek. Yeah. Looks like a copy. Bunch of new stuff. What are you testing out at the moment? Refresh the GUI, a bit easier to navigate. I've heard really good things about the GUI in Bitwig. Like that's seems to be what people praise over SolidWorks, because the SolidWorks GUI is very like spreadsheet like. I like the SolidWorks GUI, but some people don't like it. I'm attempting to get my hardware to speak to Bitwig. That sounds fun. Which one of these did I download again? I think I got this one. Alright, whatever. I'm just gonna go with that one for now. Let me just check where I put it. And just need to extract it. Okay, let me see if I can show this without giving anything away. No, that should be all good. Okay, so this is the folder for the CAD model I just downloaded. Looks like it's got a lot of stuff in there. Got step files there, got the full assembly there. Hopefully it's not too heavy. And then all the different components, I guess. Yeah, so I'll try open up this assembly. Uh-oh. Okay. Looks like I need to download some fonts. That looks pretty cool. Can I old version? That makes sense. Can I turn off these images? Decals. We don't need decals. No decals. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, I keep missing your messages, Elk. But Bitwig is amazing for the built-in modular systems, which they refreshed and added more. They also included some awesome new modulators and a mod matrix, if I recall correctly. Sweet. Let's see what's new. Whoops. Alright, I'll have a look at this. You're on stream to show what you're doing. Yeah, but you know, it's good to have a conversation going at the same time. Beyond the envelopes. Okay, what's MSEG? Multi-segment envelope generator. Okay. Cool, so you can create your own envelope. Nice. It's, right, it's like a node-based thing, isn't it? Really like node-based editors. That's cool. Alright, let's go modulation stuff. Automation, I guess. Looks cool. The nice thing about being a smaller company is I think you have a lot more flexibility to just make big changes. Like Ableton's starting to get quite, I guess, conservative now. Like there aren't any huge changes anymore because they could potentially ruin a lot of people's workflow by making big changes that could mess things up. Basically, it's a bunch of stuff I probably won't use. But Bitwig is my preferred DAW for experimenting. Yeah, it looks like they give you a lot of fun tools for experimenting. Now, if I delete these decals in this display state, will they stay there in this display state? Yes, they will. Nice. Cool. Oh, nice. And they put little locating points in there. Do we have points for these pins? Yes, we do. Very nice. Okay, who did I download this model from again? It was this one. This person, whose name I cannot pronounce. Hasanain Shuja. I'm very sorry, but thank you very much for making such a nice detailed model with all the location points and everything in there. That's really helpful. Great job. Good work. I hope that you measured all these points correctly. I'm trusting that you did. Okay, and then I'm gonna change the display state here. And it's not gonna let me. Why? Did I not add a second display state? Yes, I did. There we go. Okay, and that green is hurting my eyeballs. Logic is great for mastering. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that the Logic's great for mastering and that Pro Tools is great for mastering and stuff. I hate Pro Tools, if I'm honest. Logic seems fine. I haven't used it that much because I'm a Windows user. But yeah, Logic looks pretty good. Now why isn't this green? Ah, here we go. It's in the decals tab. Let's make this like way less intense. Yeah, that's better. Sensory overload. Alright, cool. Never used Pro Tools, lol. I attempted Ableton and just decided it wasn't worth the struggle. I guess, by the way, sorry, this is off topic. Do you think I need to make the background on this chat less transparent? Is it hard to read when it's on top of things like this? Like when it's on top of other text? Maybe it is. Maybe I'll write some notes down of things I should change after this. So, chat time. I'll make the messages stay up longer. And transparency. If you have any other tips for making the stream look better, just let me know. Maybe reduce the transparency a bit. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So it's not quite so, yeah, see-through. Yeah, Ableton, I don't know, Ableton clicked with me. Your mic has an audible whine. Ah. Tell me if this fixes it. Is that gone now? It's gone? Okay. Cool. Thanks for telling me about that. Something super annoying. I have a light here. Just like an LED ring light. And by default, when you turn it on, it's not at its full brightness. And it has like PWM dimming. So, I don't know. I guess if I turn it off and then turn it back on, you can probably hear the whine. But if I turn up the brightness, it should stop, because I think like for it to dim, it turns on and off the light like super quickly, and the sound like it makes noise, an electrical noise signal. But if you turn the brightness fully up, then it's just like on. So yeah, thanks. That's a good tip. I need to remember to turn the brightness up all the way every time. Make another note of that. Yeah. At some point I'm gonna move. Oops. At some point I'm gonna move apartments. And I probably want to change up my recording setup a bit. Get different lights. So for now I just have to deal with it. It's definitely gone now, but I didn't hear it when you made the adjustment just now. Okay. Do you hear it now? I think even I can hear it. Yeah, maybe it's just when I first power this is plugged in with USB. Maybe it's just when I first power the computer, it resets or something. It's very annoying. All right, back to it. So got the Pi here, which seems to be not super heavy. You're good now. Okay, sweet. Yeah, this model doesn't seem too heavy, so I think it should be fine to bring into the assembly. Really nicely made too. Very cool. Got another decal on here. Maybe I'll get rid of that decal. I'm just so OCD about this stuff. Yeah. But yeah, thanks heaps for the heads up about the noise, because I think in one of the other streams I just, or maybe even a few of them, I just left it going the whole time and didn't realize. All right, let's see where this bad boy can fit in this device. Boom. Wow, it's large. It is large and in charge. So the question is, do I want it facing up or down? And let me just hide this for a second. Yeah, do I want it facing up or down? And do I want these jacks to come through the back or these jacks to come through the back? Or have them both in the corner? Probably the most important question is, do I face it up or down? And I think if I want to be able to cool the CPU, probably needs to be facing down. Yeah, so I can attach a cooler onto the bottom. I could attach a cooler to the top as well, potentially, as long as there's nothing above it. But there's not that much room under the PCB, so I'm kind of tempted to flip it over so these pins can plug down into here. But then it would be more difficult to pull the Raspberry Pi in and out. So if you imagine, like, this board is attached to this this top plate, and that's like one piece that drops down into the bottom. This. So when you disassemble it, you take this off, and this is attached. So then if this is like in between those but upside down, you would have to take this whole PCB off to get that out. Which could be very annoying. And I would need to cool this CPU. So I'd need like some block of metal or a little bracket or something that's stuck on here and stuck on the underside of here. So the heat transfers from this onto this top plate. And then this whole top plate would act like a heatsink. Or I flip it over and let me see what it looks like if I would flip it over. Yeah, or I could have it like this, in between, and then yeah, it would like plug down into this PCB. It which like fits much better space-wise, like height-wise. Let me just make this transparent again. Look at the back. Yeah, because like the jacks would almost fit if it was like that. And the CPU could like, I could have a hole in this PCB where like some heatsink thing can attach to this, and then when you would insert it into the bottom plate, it would attach to the bottom. Damn, man, I don't know. Because for disassembling, there's going to be two different things that are annoying that could happen. So either you want to take this thing out of the bottom enclosure, and if it's in this orientation, then you take it out and you have to take off the thermal paste, because this will be attached to the bottom enclosure with thermal paste. So then every time you take this in and out of the bottom enclosure, you would have to redo the thermal paste. Alternatively, yeah, yikes indeed. Alternatively, if this is flips the other way as it was before, and you disassemble, oops, what did I do? Where's my PCB? And you disassemble, you take this out. Anytime you want to take the Raspberry Pi out, wait, no, what am I thinking? That might be a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, see, ideally, I mean, I could just attach a separate heatsink to the Pi, so the Pi never needs to attach to the enclosure to be cooled. And I like the idea that you would just be able to plug the Pi in and unplug it. So it would need to like come in this way if it is facing in this direction. And the pin standoffs are gonna, like, it's gonna plug in like that. So yeah, that's gonna make the device very large, very thick. Like I would need to make it way thicker so it can plug in to the bottom of the PCB like that. But then anytime you want to take this out, you're going to have to remove the thermal paste anyway. But yeah, so if it's in this orientation, you take the back off, you would easily be able to take the Pi module out without taking the whole PCB out. And you would have to undo the thermal paste from the top plate. If it were in this orientation, you'd have to go up here, and every time you open up the device, you'd have to take the thermal paste off the CPU, and if you wanted to remove the Pi, you would have to remove the whole PCB. But it fits so much better in this orientation. Damn, man. I don't know what to do. It's a big sucker to fit in there. Let me just rotate this to be parallel with this plane. I could have these ports on the back and these other ports on the side. Need to be something like this. Like that. I still need to make the device a bit taller to fit this all in anyway. It's a thick boy. Alternatively, I could like desolder these pins. No, that wouldn't make sense. To be honest, I think this is the best way. Until we use the compute module, I guess this would be the best way. But I have a feeling that Yessa might want this USB-C port on the back instead of these. I mean, this is just for a prototype, right? Like, the finished product shouldn't have a full-size Raspberry Pi on it. Ideally, it would have a compute module or some other small system on module. If I turn this over again, how do you know which components have to go in the unit? I haven't ever designed anything, but I'm curious as to how you know what components you need. Well, like we've spoken a little bit, me and the guys who are working on it, and like we've got a bit of an idea about what we want to put in there, just based on, I guess, based on other projects that we've done, and I kind of look at the back view. Yeah, just based on other projects we've done, and what kind of requirements we want, but how we know we want to compute, how we know we want a Raspberry Pi. Basically, the guys who are doing the electronics and the software programming and stuff, it was their suggestion. They were like, we think we can set up the operating system on Raspberry Pi, and it's probably the quickest and fastest way to get it happening, because you know, it's a very popular platform. There's lots of documentation, lots of support and everything. So it was their suggestion. Yeah, so if I flip it this way, I could put it over this side. Then I'd have these jacks coming out here, and these pins would have to go in there like that. I wonder if I could make a kind of best of both worlds situation. Let me think. Like, I could make a little board that has two like, let me think. Let me get my other trusty CAD software out, Microsoft Paint. I have an idea. This is my idea. So imagine the Raspberry Pi PCB like this, looking from the back, and then the other PCB kind of ends next to it like this. This is the big main PCB. And then, so you have the pins coming out of the Raspberry Pi like this. Then I could also put pins on the main PCB like this. Then I could have a little PCB here that's just like a board-to-board connector, and it has a little socket like that, and a socket like this. That way the CPU can connect to the top plate, which is up here, as like a heatsink. So I could have like a little bracket that goes, and that's the heatsink. Let me just color things so it makes a bit more sense. So PCB, 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 enclosure. This is like a heatsink, and this is the SOM. And then there's like, oops. What am I doing? No. These are the pins. And bad. What is that? Okay, so yeah. So this is like the enclosure top. This is the Raspberry Pi. This is the main PCB. Then you have like a little connecting PCB here with two little sockets on it. Then like you can take the main PCB off if you want, and it would just unplug from that. You can also take the Raspberry Pi off if you want, and it just unplugs from that. So you can take either of them off independently. That I quite like. That like you can take the bottom board off. You can take the main PCB off if you want, and leave the Pi on, so you don't have to redo the heatsink, like the thermal paste. But you can also, if you want, you can take the Raspberry Pi out and leave the. You can take the Raspberry Pi out and leave the main PCB in, if you want. Meaning you don't have to take all the buttons and everything out. I like this solution. Just means that I need to make this little PCB here, and this PCB would probably need to connect to how come my pencil's gone all skinny? I would need to have probably some screw bosses to connect this. Oops. So that like this board stays here, if that makes sense. I think that would be a nice way to do it. But there's a chance that this board will not need to be the same height as the Pi, because the Pi has different size jacks. And I wonder if I can compensate with like different length pins or something. I don't know though. I think I like this option. I might even save this paint drawing. In case I need to explain it to the other guys. Now one other thing is that this PCB, like the top plate and the PCB underneath it and the Raspberry Pi will be one assembled piece that needs to slide down into the bottom enclosure, and it'll need to go in like down and then across for the jacks to come out the back, which means that it can't go across this way. So these jacks won't be able to come through the holes. So if I want those jacks to be visible, I'll need to just have a big hole, big enough that whatever plastic plug needs to plug into them will have enough clearance. I should probably ask Yessa what jacks he wants to have on the front, on the back, because if it's going to be powered by USB, you probably don't want the power cable sticking out the side. Probably it should be out the back. And I don't know how often we're going to use USB-A ports and Ethernet. Again, this is just a prototype, so it doesn't really matter if the cable's not coming out the back. How would I do this if this was the compute module 4? Maybe I can bring in a compute module 4 and we can see what that would look like. Let me try and open it up quickly. Sorry, just a moment. Probably going to take a long time to open because it's really heavy. Here it is. That didn't take too long. You can see how many tiny components there are in here. And even like all these little solder balls and stuff, they're all like individual parts. That's why the model is super heavy. And even like the individual PCB layers are modeled in with gaps in between them. It's a very, very detailed model. But SolidWorks seems to be handling it okay. Let's try inserting it. Contains an amount of detail that might affect assembly performance. I can switch it to be lightweight. I think. I forget how to do that. Thought it was here somewhere. No, I don't know. Whatever. Oh yeah, this is really chugging. Why can't I make it lightweight? Am I blind? Okay. So the compute module actually connects with these little strips along the bottom. Oh my god, this is really going slow. So these plug into some like sockets on the PCB on top. So yeah, if I was going to put it in this design, I would have to have it so it plugs down onto here if I want this to connect with a heatsink to the top plate. Which means I wouldn't be able to do the thing that I'm talking about doing here, where you could take the processor or the PCB out independently. Yeah, you'd have to take the whole thing out. Is there any way I could do it? No, that kind of has to attach to the main PCB. And if I had it around the other way, it would be the same. The heatsink would just have to attach to the bottom plate, which would mean every time you disassemble it, you'd have to take the thermal paste off. Yeah. No, I think that using the top plate as the heatsink makes more sense. Elk, what do you think about this? If you're using a device and the one area of the device has the potential to get hot, like hopefully not too hot to touch, but it could be, would you rather that be in the top corner or in the bottom corner? Like the top side or the underside? So I don't know how likely it is that someone wants to use this thing on their lap, but if they do, I'm thinking maybe it's not nice to have a hot spot on the bottom where it could be touching your leg. On the top, I don't know if that would create a situation that's annoying. Like if the top corner up here was hot and you try to touch it, I feel like the underside would be good, but I'm more interested in putting on gear on stands. Yeah. So you think the bottom side getting hot would be good instead of the top side getting hot? What about just for like general, for all people, not specifically you? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a future problem to worry about. I would have mine installed on a metal rack, but the top might be better for the average user. The top getting hot. Yeah, it's hard to say. How hot are we talking? Hopefully not very. Maybe like 50 degrees Celsius. What's that in Fahrenheit? T to F. Like 122. I don't know. I think the data sheet for these products says that like they shouldn't get over 80 or 90 degrees Celsius, like 194. But I don't think that a Raspberry Pi would get that hot, especially if it has this whole surface as a heatsink. I think it would keep it reasonably cool. I might even be able to test actually like the thermal performance of this when like I can add a heat source to this and test how much the metal will cool it. I'm not sure if this version of SolidWorks has that included though, like the thermal finite element analysis. I'm thinking that I might just have to pose this to the other guys and see what they think. For the current like prototype design with the full size Raspberry Pi, I think this option that I've just sort of detailed on the paint makes sense, like plugging it in this way and having a sort of connector board in between them that allows you to unplug the main PCB or unplug the Pi if you want to. I think that would be pretty good. If we move to something like the compute module, then yeah, we might have to think about something else. Yeah. I mean, ideally, the final product you shouldn't need to we shouldn't need to be going in and changing the chip very regularly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to worry about the compute module 4 for now. And I think I'll see what the guys think about this option. Tomorrow, actually, we're going to have a call about this, so yeah. I'll see what they think. But I'm liking this idea. It is funny that this almost perfectly fits the height that I had it set already. Like these pins are going through the bottom a little bit, so I probably have to increase the overall height. Although, I mean, this is very sneaky, but this could technically be like that. Could even be like this, to be honest. But then I would have a very small section of material here. Don't know. Because I can make a little cutout in this bottom section of plate. I've even been thinking about making this 2mm and making this one 1mm. Might actually try that now. That'll be a good test of how robust my model is. See if everything updates. Let's go back to my skeleton and enclosure right drawing. What the hell? No. Yeah, let's see how robust my model is. If I change this to 1mm and change this to 2mm, let's see if anything breaks. So we're watching the thickness of these two plates. They should change, hopefully. There we go. Did anything break? No, nothing broke. Very nice. This thickness should have updated too, yeah. Hell yeah, I love parametric modeling. But I will need to increase the height of the device a little bit if I'm going to squeeze the Raspberry Pi in there. Yeah, that'll need to have some space above it, so it's probably going to be like that. I probably need to add like, I don't know, another millimeter or so for clearance. That's alright. Maybe I'll do that now. Where are we at height-wise? Where is the height? Yeah? 24. Let's make it 25. Do this update. Should. Yep. Okay. Whole device should get a little bit taller now. Let's see. Don't blink. You'll miss it. There we go. So yeah, that gives us a bit more clearance. So I would be able to move that up a bit. That should have some space under there. Maybe that's still too close. I could make the whole device 26mm tall. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, that looks decent. Yeah, I think I might end it short today because there's still a few things that I need to do that I need to sort out with the other guys. So I want to talk to them about position of the buttons next to the display, because I thought about stacking them vertically like this, which I think is just way overly complicated. But I might stack them so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, because they need to stack vertically for the 8 channels on the display, like 8 drum channels like this. So I want a button next to each channel, and the buttons are a little bit too big to fit 8 high, so I might have to go a zigzag. But it could be good because then like this row could be a different color to this row. Let me see if I have a drawing to better explain this. Yeah, here we go. So imagine these buttons are on the left side. So you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this row could be a different color to this row. And then on the screen, the tracks can alternate colors. So it's a little bit easier to see which track you're selecting. That could work. So I want to talk to the other guys, about that tomorrow when we have a meeting. And I'll talk to them about this idea of the positioning for the Raspberry Pi. Hopefully there's not too many huge objections and I don't have to change too much stuff, but if there is, that's life, you know. Just hope that we can come to a good conclusion. Yeah, and I might need to add some more jacks. Oh, the potentiometers that should be underneath these knobs, but I haven't added them yet. I'm still trying to find a 3D model of those to add in here. So far, I haven't had any luck finding 3D models. I wrote an email to Taiwan Alpha to ask if they would send them to me, but they were like, how many thousands of these do you want to order? And I was like, I don't know, none yet. So I think they think I'm too much of a small fish. But I'm talking to a guy who I know uses these products, these pots on his own device, and he buys them in bulk, so he might be able to get the models. I'm not sure, maybe he already has them. So working on that, and then I'll be able to add the potentiometers in here as well. And yeah, hopefully soon we might be at a stage where I can get the other guys from the group to join in on a stream and maybe introduce everyone and talk about the goals for the project and what everybody's job is. And yeah, I think that could be pretty cool. So I'm meeting with them tomorrow, so I'll ask them about it. Yeah, I think that would be good. Sorry, I just missed some messages there. Print the base of the drum machine. If you mean like print the enclosure, could be an option. Yeah, we could do that. We've been thinking about maybe just laser cutting for the prototype. Hopefully the end product will be like folded aluminium sheet metal. But yeah, could do a print. Yeah. Is that what you meant? Like 3D print the enclosure? And elk, that would be awesome. I'm guessing you're talking about bringing the other guys on the stream. I think it would be really good. Like, have to find a time when everyone can join and technically figure out how to get everyone on stream or on screen. I might just have to do like a Discord call or something. Yeah, and hopefully that works. Yeah, I think that'd be good to do soon. And you guys will get a bit more of a background of where the ideas are coming from and how we're dividing things up between all the individual guys. Just one more update, Elk. This might be maybe interesting for you or not. I don't know, but I mentioned this new lens doesn't focus, like it won't autofocus, so I have to do manual focus. I bought the lens station, the Samyang lens station, which is like this little USB thing that you plug into the device and you can update the firmware. And I have to say, before I bought this lens, I would have recommended Samyang to anyone because I have the Samyang 35mm, this guy, which I think is a great lens. Not scared of bricking. I mean, I was, but the main problem is that, well, firstly, they sell you a lens that doesn't work out of the box with my camera anyway. Like, the firmware needs to be updated, otherwise it doesn't autofocus, which is already like, okay, that's very annoying. And secondly, you can't update it unless you buy a $50 accessory. Very annoying. Then you add on that all of the people who are complaining about that it bricked their lens. And I was like, okay, that's horrible. I hope that doesn't happen. But then what happened to me, which I saw also in a lot of the reviews on Amazon, is that you plug the lens into the thing, and I plugged it in, like I lined up the dots, plugged it in, and started to turn it, and it felt like a lot of resistance, and I was like, okay, that doesn't feel right. So I took it back out and pulled it out, and then I looked in there, and one of the pins in the lens station was just like bent over like that. I was like, what the hell? Like, how could you design something where like you put the lens in as you're supposed to with the dot lining up, you push it in all the way and turn it. The pins should be designed so that if it's pushed in all the way, like you're meant to, that shouldn't be able to bend the pins. Turns out what you have to do is like push it in and then like start to turn it until the like little metal things have passed each other, and then kind of pull it apart so that you give the pin space while you turn it so that it doesn't bend the pin, and then it'll click in properly. Because it's like, you know, like in here there's like the three metal bits that stick out. You got to like engage them in, but then pull it up. Otherwise you'll bend the pins. You have to pull it up to give it as much space as possible. And this is like a Samyang lens and a Samyang lens station, both made by Samyang, made to fit with each other. And it's compulsory to get it if you want the lens to work in your camera, which is already bad. And it has the potential to break your lens, like make it unusable by bricking the firmware. Also break the lens by making gouge. It also made a gouge in the bottom of the underside of the lens from the pin bending, and break the lens station, which is already something that you don't even need after you've updated it. So it's like, I have to return the lens station because it's broken, and then I have to get a new one so that I can update the firmware, and then also return that because I don't need it. I only need to update the firmware. So yeah, very frustrating. Anyway, that's my rant over. But yeah, so I'm kind of at the point now where I don't know if I would recommend Samyang lenses anymore. Are they helping with warranty or anything? No, it's not really possible to contact them. I mean, I could contact the store that I bought it from, but my dad brought it for me from Australia because it was cheaper there. So I would have to give it back to my dad to take it back to Australia to return it there and get a refund or get warranty or whatever. So not going to bother with that. Anyway, that's a little update on the setup, but hopefully that'll be sorted soon and I don't brick my lens. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, back to the project. I'm going to meet with the guys tomorrow, talk about all of this stuff. Hopefully we can organize to get them on the stream soon, and yeah, keep progressing and see how it turns out. Yeah, I'm going to end it here. So thanks again for watching. If you're watching this after, would really appreciate a subscribe, like, follow, whatever you can manage. No pressure, but it would be greatly appreciated, and it does supposedly help a lot with getting the videos suggested in the algorithm. So anything you could do would be greatly appreciated. And if you're like Elk, who's an absolute legend, come and join in the streams. keep me entertained. Hopefully I can somewhat entertain you as well. And yeah, Elk, thanks so much for being here again. It's awesome having you around. Love getting your opinions on things as well. It's good to have somebody to bounce off. So yeah, and looking forward to seeing what you're up to in Bitwig as well. If anybody's interested, go and check out Elk on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch as well. He's a legend. Check out his Twitch. Yeah. I wish it was easier to communicate. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but I'm glad that you're here, making my chat look like there's something going on. Don't look me up. Nah, come on, look him up. He's good. Makes cool music. Anyway, I better go. Thanks again, and yeah, see you on the next one. Bye.